I promise that you will be astounded by this video. Finally, a settlement between the SEC and Ripple has been struck. Yes, you heard correctly. Officially, Ripple has prevailed. We have never seen a more positive signal than this one. For years, we have been anticipating this moment. Additionally, XRP has been strengthening for a huge pump throughout this time. According to experts, the price of XRP Ripple coin may soon reach $10,000. Quite thrilling, isn't it? This is a video that you cannot afford to miss. Let's get right to the point without further ado. Disclaimer. Ripple Labs and the SEC's lawsuit seems to be nearing a conclusion after almost 4 years of court fights and market uncertainty. For real this time. Several prominent personalities in the crypto world quickly shared the news. The post by Oscar Ramos read, "It's over." Jack the Rippler tweeted, "The SEC files a settlement letter in the SEC versus Ripple case, while XRP was poised to soar. Folks, it's over." These remarks encapsulated the sentiment of a community that has been waiting years for a settlement in one of the most well-known legal disputes in cryptocurrency. The SEC and Ripple jointly filed a letter with Judge Annalisa Torres in the Southern District of New York, which forms the basis of the development. In this letter, the court is asked to lift the previous injunction against Ripple and permit the $125 million civil penalty that was initially ordered to be distributed. The filing stated that Ripple will receive the remaining $75 million, with $50 million going to the SEC. Both parties will seek to have the case returned from the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit, so that Judge Torres can formally approve the proposed settlement if the court accepts the conditions. The meaning of this accord transcends the figures for many people who are following the case. Pay attention to the filing on social media, tweeting, "SEC has filed the settlement agreement letter," said legal expert James Phelan over the phone. However, Fred Rispley, a crypto defense lawyer, picked up on a small but important clause in the contract. Jorge Tenero, the SEC's chief litigation counsel who had been instrumental in the case, was not present. "You know what's so great about this on the attached settlement agreement?" wrote Rees. "A specific Tenero has zero appearance. To be fair to him, though, he has been coping with a significant issue with the IT room's temperature control. You cannot simply ignore that." The XRP community was aware of the sarcasm. Tenero's departure is seen as an indication of the SEC's changing priorities, and perhaps even internal exhaustion over a case that never produced the regulatory precedent the agency had hoped for. The whole cryptocurrency market was rocked by the December 2020 lawsuit accusing Ripple of marketing unregistered securities using its XRP coin. Although many institutional investors considered XRP to be radioactive and it was delisted from major U.S. exchanges for a considerable amount of time, Ripple refused to give up. CEO Brad Garlinghouse pledged to push for more legal clarity surrounding digital assets and has criticized the SEC's approach as regulation by enforcement. Ripple's perseverance paid off in a lot of ways. In addition to surviving the crisis, the business grew its global operations and fortified its alliances. This most recent colonization represents a sea change. Ripple will be able to operate in the U.S. without the legal tether that has surrounded it for years, if the court grants permission to withdraw the injunction and accept the suggested payment plan. Additionally, this would pave the way for XRP to be relisted on significant exchanges, generating a surge of fresh demand, particularly from institutions that had previously avoided it because of the legal ambiguity. This is an important moment because it may set a precedent for future U.S. approaches to digital asset enforcement. The SEC's forceful approach has come under growing criticism, and this retreat, which included the agency taking a partial penalty and giving up its claim to the majority of the funds, will probably be seen as a setback for regulators attempting to exercise unbridled control over cryptocurrency. This is a vindication for XRP holders and Ripple fans, not just the conclusion of a case. Now it seems worth the years of persevering in the face of delistings, negative publicity, and an unclear future. Once looming over Ripple's future, the legal threat has essentially vanished. "It's over," as one well-known tweet stated. XRP is going to take off. This time, it might be true, even though it sounds like hype. Furthermore, these are more than just catchphrases or hollow words. Right now, the crypto world is ablaze. Influencers, analysts, and even legal professionals are raising the alarm in a constructive manner. They think XRP is going to accomplish something significant. Some are predicting that a financial earthquake is about to occur. You are not prepared for the price forecasts and shockwaves that could shake the cryptocurrency market as a whole, I assure you. XRP will make a lot of people rich, Maxi tweeted. Furthermore, that feeling is more than just hype. It shows increasing assurance that XRP is poised for a financial revolution that may be unlike anything we have ever witnessed. However, it doesn't end there. Crypto Sensei asserts that XRP is more than simply another asset that is about to see a surge in value. Gold will be tokenized. Give that some thought. The concept itself positions XRP as the monetary foundation for the upcoming stage of the global financial system, not just as a bridge currency. Its worth may surpass speculative trading if XRP turns into a medium for tokenized actual assets, particularly gold. It might end up being fundamental. According to Sensei, XRP will tokenize gold, which might mean that its worth in the financial system could eventually outweigh that of gold itself. Even conservative investors are beginning to see the value of that audacious concept. In the meantime, Jack the Rippler continues to fuel the flames with straightforward but powerful indications, such as XRP's positive outlook. Those three words may sound like technical jargon, but they convey all the information traders need to know in a market that is driven by momentum. Next come tweets like Lord XRP's now trending statement, XRP to $300. Anything is conceivable. Is this a crazy dream? Perhaps. However, XRP, a token with real-world utility and banking integration exceeding triple digits, feels less absurd in an ecosystem where tokens like Dogecoin once climbed tens of thousands of % based only on jokes. Z went one step farther. He noted that more than $55 trillion in U.S. assets are ready to be tokenized, and that Ripple is in a prime position to lead this shift. With a last twist that caused many to pause, he believes that the value of XRP may rise from billions to trillions. XRP might rise to $10,000 as a result. It is more than simply moon talk. Mars is that planet. However, this is when the intriguing part begins. There is more to the hope that XRP will hit $10,000 than just hype. It has to do with strategy and psychology. The so-called diamond hands mindset was recently contested by well-known XRP expert, All Things XRP. Waiting until $10,000 seems honorable, even defiant. However, what occurs when actual cash begins to show up in your wallet? What would happen if you had $100,000, $1 million, and then $10 million? The analyst presents a clear image. When a holder has 10,000 XRP, their portfolio reaches $100 million. Would they genuinely hold out for more? The majority wouldn't, as life-altering possibilities, family obligations, and financial strain don't wait for the ideal price objective. They demand attention and arrive early. Professional investors don't place bets on individual price points, as the tweet makes clear. They handle risk like a business, not a fantasy, plan exit strategy, and reap profits gradually. According to the analyst, there are three types of hands: paper hands,